warmed up on those assassin jungle picks, and another rumble for the side of Vapo, really, with the Ord.
Yeah, two really strong again. You know, giving up the Rumble again is very surprising. Giving up the Ornn as well. You know, picking a champion like Wukong instead of Ornn. Even Varus. Like, Varus didn't need to get picked on this rotation. They already have the AD carry on the side of Vapo. So you know that the Varus is not going to be able to get, you know, not going to be taken away. So I think going for something like an Ornn instead, and, you know, instead of the Varus would have been much better. But timing, going back to comfort here, going back onto that Vladimir, who we know yesterday had an excellent performance on that Vladimir when it got into the late game. The outplay potential of this Vladimir is going to be very, very scary. But I think that, you know, in terms of this, you know, these first few picks, we're looking very strong again for Vapo when it comes to the Rumble and also the Ornn.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the implementation of the Ezreal as well, right? Like, it's just one of those picks that you can kind of keep very safe into the back line. Like, you are able to kind of just use those Mystic shots, as well as obviously the True Shot barrage as well, to kind of either clear the minion waves, but also just kind of have access into the back line and already sort of like take down a lot of the enemy's health before you even have that team fight. But Volibear, the Nazas, as well as the Z being banned out here. So already respect bans of those power picks from game number dos. But they're actually going to ban out the Xin Zhao here, so it looks like Obsess is not going to get the Xin Zhao this time around.
It'll be interesting to see what they round out this composition with. They might try and go for their jungler now, see what the last two picks are, and then try and pick the support. There are a few other supports still open that you can go for. You know, the likes of the Leona, the Alistar can be a good option. Maokai is also another great option as well. There are a few really strong picks here for the side of Mango. They go back to the Shyvana. I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, it worked, quote unquote, in game number one, but I think that's more because of how well, you know, Deadly performed and how well Timing performed in that previous game. But again, Shyvana, one of them junglers that's just not going to do much in that early phase and kind of needs time to scale, which is going to be a little bit difficult, I think, for Mango in this game.
Very difficult, right? I mean, like you said, it worked, quotations, it worked. It did its job. It did its job, and it did it well towards the sort of like mid to late game. But with the likes of Riven potentially here being into the jungle, I mean, that definitely has a little bit more access into contesting the Riven in the Shyvana in the early side of the game as well, right? But potentially here, the Kassadin, very scalable champion into the late game, very interesting.
I do not really like the casting too much, to be fair. I think that the problem now with Vapo's team composition is we are lacking a lot of front line. I mean, Rumble and Riven can do a little bit to help with the front line, but most of them are more to do with mobility and trying to maybe deal a bit of burst damage, then jump away. Ornn is really your only frontline threat, and Singe coming through in game number 3 for Mango. What sort of cooking is happening? Wait, that's Singe support. I just realized
Support, yeah.
what in the world is happening? I mean, Singed was very strong for like a few patches a couple of months ago, and he was pickle banned like every single ranked game with the flip being like, I think it got like double or triple the amount of range on the flip, and it was the strongest champion in the game. I mean, you could play Singe jungle, you could play Singe mid, Singe top, Singe support. It just all worked. The champion was just completely broken. It's been nerfed since then, so it's not as powerful, but it's really to do with like this pick composition and trying to find out one target to be able to flip. But what are you flipping when, you know, Ezreal can jump away, Kassadin can jump away? Maybe you can try and catch someone out like a Rumble, but it's a risky composition to play, Blam, in game number 3. I mean, it's something that we haven't really seen before. It's very high risk for Mango as well. Even Vapo's composition can be, you know, called very risky with the likes of the Kassadin, who of course needs at least 3 items and needs to get to level 13 until he becomes very powerful. So both these top team compositions are not really standard for what, you know, even you were saying, you know, coming into this game number 3, Blam, is like you expected them to all play comfort picks and playing something that they're comfortable on. I'm not too sure if that's what we got from this game number 3.
No, yeah, maybe there's a little bit of madness, a little bit of co-conceiving happening from the last game that maybe drove them to this. But I mean, there's a strange little interaction that could be made here, where obviously Singe and obviously Varus as well, right? Like if you can get the throw and then land that into the chains of corruption, that could be a great way of trying to like flip somebody like the Rumble, right? Try and completely take them out of the team fight. It's not going to go into something like the Orn, right? You're not going to kind of flip and then lock down and get rid of the front line unless that is the case, and then it opens up the back line for the rest of them, like the Shyvana, like the Wukong to go in on top of, as well as timing. We saw many times using that kind of flash ult combo yesterday.
I think that's exactly what they want to try and look for. They want to try and look for this pick composition, as it seems like they want to try and invade the Raptors early on. You can see that Flip already trying to help out, but it's not really doing anything. You're flipping an Orn who's already super tanky, and meanwhile Ezreal's just basically auto-attacking you to death, and you're just running around like a melee minion, basically. So
yeah,
it's going to be very difficult. Meanwhile, on this bot side, two very late game scaling champions with the Vladimir and also that Kassadin. You're seeing Ezreal again taking away these Raptors, getting that mid lane priority, poking out in this early game. You can already see that it's going to be so difficult, I think, for Mango to create this mid lane priority and get an advantage.
Yeah, I mean, for now, it's definitely a lot more kind of like cooler tone game 3, right? Like, we're not seeing those like big dives from the Orn double knock up into the top side of the map. I mean, Orn is now level 3 and has the potential to do that, but still choosing to kind of play a little bit more coy because they know that this is the last game between both of these teams. They're looking for the victory for themselves. There's the flip. Unfortunately, I mean, it's dragging himself to Susanoo straight towards Deadly, which is a deadly combination here, but Tung Tung Sahur looking very low on health.
Yeah, the Ezreal tried to jump over the wall, tried to do a little bit of damage to Deadly, but unfortunately missed the Mystic shot and also missed the second ability as well. So not actually able to do as much damage as maybe what he would have hoped for. I'm not too sure if that's more of Deadly dodging or Ezreal missing. I think it was a little bit of both there, to be fair. But you're already seeing that Orn is playing super aggressive into this top side, trying to stop the Shyvana from taking the Scuttle Crab. Meanwhile, there's a trade happening in the top side again with this Rumble being very, very powerful early on. The Singed is trying to roam to try and help out a little bit, but not really much that they can really help out on. It's just trying to stop them from taking the Skarner in the top side.
Yeah, looks looking to take the mini Skarner there, just trying to get a bit more of a push. But I mean, it is a bit contested. There we go, with the drop down from the Rumble. Double knock up once more. There we go. I was talking about it like moments ago. Gets the first blood onto the Wukong. Carlos not looking too hot. And there we go. Queenie. Oh, True Shot Barrage. Oh my goodness.
That is absolutely tragic for the Singed. He thought he was going to be able to escape with the flash, but the flash into the True Shot Barrage. What a snipe in the end by the Ezreal. You can say that was predicted. Maybe we'll have to ask the Ezreal after this game to see if it was predicted or not, but wow, 2 early kills here for Vapo. A great start for them. Again, this Rumble getting ahead is so huge, and a kill onto that Ezreal means he can try and get to that Manamune a little bit sooner.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're going to be going for here for Vapo, right? Like, that's definitely put them in the position there where they wanted to be. Like I was saying, the early game was definitely, like, a lot more of a cooler tone, but we're just waiting for that right moment. Like, the Orn there, exactly like a bit of a rinse and repeat from last game, where they just got the double knock up into the top side of the map. That's where we started to see the cracks start to show. I mean, Vapo last game were able to get those 2 kills, but then also translate it into that T1 turret as well. But not quite the same effect this time, but still very impressive.
And again, you're seeing the big difference of the support picks. I think, again, you know, Singe just not being able to do anything at all, on making a big difference time and time again. The previous game as well, also with the rotation, just seeing again on trying to look into the top side. Once you get this mid lane priority, it becomes so difficult for anyone to try and stop the Orn from rotating, the Orn from making a big difference. Unfortunately, this time the Rumble ultimate did miss. They weren't able to tower dive, but still, Orn rotating, creating that pressure just means that Mango are always going to be on that back foot.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, right now they're currently ahead of just under 2k gold here for the side of Vapo. It's now kind of gone more towards the same distance of about 1.7. But as the neutral objectives are coming up here, potentially maybe Mango are looking to sort of maybe prioritize the Dragon, obviously, in terms of the stacks and the Dragon Soul towards the end of the game, which we saw last time around when they went for the Shyvana in game 1. But I don't feel like Obsess has had that same kind of a privilege to kind of stick around in the jungle. Like, they're always trying to contest it. I mean, we already see him Riven's ahead by about 300, 200 gold now. So already we're not seeing that same effect that Obsess had on the Shyvana in game 1.
I mean, again, as I mentioned, you know, Shyvana's just not going to do anything. She's just completely useless. She's not going to gank. She's not going to help in team fights. She's not going to help at all. She just wants to farm until these first objectives. Now these first objectives are coming through. When it comes to this 5 versus 5, I just favor Vapo's composition so much more. They just have so many ways, which you have the crowd control, you have the Ornn being able to help out as well. Varus is already down to half HP, might just need to go back to base already. Also, the Cinch getting pretty low on health as well. So even if they try and contest this Rift Herald, it's going to be so scary. The Rumble ultimate comes down as well. And look at this. They can't even get close to the Rift Herald. They do eventually, but the Rift Herald is taken away by Queenie in the end. And they're going to start this team fight. The Rumble damage, the AoE damage, though, is pretty big. However, timing comes on through with the Vladimir. The flash is on through as well. They're so low health, members, on either side. Timing flashes forward, secures the kill there onto Queenie, and now trying to get some more kills. The slow comes through. Everyone is 1 HP, but only a few kills go down. It's a 3-for-2 trade in favor of Mango, but they do lose the Rift Heralds.
They lost the Rift Herald. They got a few kills. Shyvana's still alive as well, so Obsess can just go back, go down to the bot side of the map, and potentially try and go for the Ice Drake this time around. But I mean, it's definitely gave them a little bit more of a leeway, right? They are now kind of neutralizing the kill lead. They are now 4-4, but they're still behind by around about 2k gold overall. So I feel like if they really want to kind of curb Vapo, they need to get ahead in terms of the gold resources.
This is very scary now for Vapo. I think Vladimir getting the 2 kills, getting 2 assists as well in that team fight. We already said how, you know, yesterday's performance on timing, this is the main carry for Mango Esports. We thought that Deadly would be the one to be the carry if he gets his hand on someone like an Ezreal. He's not on the Ezreal this game, unfortunately, so all eyes are really on timing when it comes to Mango. The Dragon is going to go over to the Shyvana side. It's going to be a little bit more stacks, but they are going to lose that top lane tower, which the gold is going to go into the hands of the Kassadin. Honestly, that last fight was just so close. There were like 3-4 members that are on 1 HP, and you can see Rumble. It's going to be a little bit difficult time here. It's going to get towered over 3 versus 1 in that bottom side, and it does mean that Mango can try and get some more objectives here in this bottom side. Meanwhile, yeah, triple knockup. Probably do much, but Queenie's here as well. The slow comes on through, the stun as well. The ulti, the reset comes on through. Another ulti reset as well. Riven goes pew, 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 and takes 2 more kills. The shutdown onto timing as well, and that's exactly what they were looking for.
Yeah, timing not quite living up to his name there. Didn't quite time that escape or time the kind of the turnaround of that team fight that could have happened there. But in terms of Queenie and Lilo, they came at the right time. They were literally just rotating. Yes, they lost, I think it was, they lost the Rumble. They almost lost Tung Tung Sahur as well. But then at the same time, it was just like beautiful rotation there. Really saved it for the side of Vapo. Blue side still ahead in terms of gold. It's actually getting away even further from Mango right now.
Yeah, initially it was a really good tower dive by Mango to kind of catch out the Rumble in the side lane all by himself. But as you mentioned, you know, I think with the Kassadin rotating down so quickly, they have so much mobility to get from one side of the map to the other. With the Riven with the mobility, the Kassadin with the mobility as well. And you're seeing already the gold leads on the side of Vapo. Again, that jungle, Queenie, the main carry for Vapo when it comes to the jungle in our previous game. And even this game as well. He's now 1,500 gold ahead of the Shyvana. Oh, no. The Chains of Corruption does come on through. Deadly needs to be a little bit careful, but it is going to get turned around, and Vapo is going to lose a member. The Ezreal is going to go down. They were so close to taking down Deadly. He was 1 HP.
Queenie?
Actually, the Riven is just what the Riven's just dashing and diving all the way into the Varus, and eventually they do get the kill back onto the Riven. But it's a 2-for-1 trade though for Mango, and suddenly this game has turned into a little bit of a fiesta. Bland, there's just so many many fights and kills happening across the map. It's very hard to keep track of.
Very hard to keep track of. I mean, was it really worth it taking down Timon? I mean, not Timon, sorry, Deadly at that time there for Queenie? I mean, yes, they kind of have the current gold lead. They aren't down by the overall gold resources as well, but it does mean that now Obsess is going to have a bit of a free time, a little bit of privilege to just go around in the map and claim some of those camps for himself. But I think because Vapo has obviously the pressure into the bot and the top side of the map, it's not the kind of worst mistake they could have made, right?
Yeah, I think trading 1 for 1. I mean, the good thing for Vapo is that no objectives were up. So even, you know, Queenie going in for that kill, getting a little bit of gold for himself. I believe he did potentially give a shutdown over because he was 3 and 1. And he probably had so much gold that he probably was able to, probably was able to, even with the kill, was probably given some gold over to the side of Mango. But again, looking at the gold, the Kassadin is slowly creeping up in gold as well. The Kassadin has just been slowly farming in the side lane. He has 2 items already. The Rod of Ages is stacking, as well as the tier stacking. He now has Malignance as well. So we're talking about Queenie, we're talking about timing, but Lilo on this Kassadin slowly creeping up to get the most gold in this game. And for a Kassadin, if he can get to level 13, if he can get 3 items with potentially the Archangel Staff being completed as the 3rd item, might be very scary here when it comes to mobility in team fights and trying to shut down the likes of Lilo and also Queenie when it comes to dashes.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't quite seen Lilo into the team fight yet on the Kassadin. The only time we've really seen him was obviously that rotation down to the bot side of the map. So maybe it's going to be the punch that Mango Esports aren't expecting into this latter part of the game. But that gets caught out is Timon once more. Queenie coming through with the help of Ornn's ultimate to stop him in the place. It was just enough to kind of take Timon off, and that's going to be a huge engage potential here for the side of Mango Esports that they don't have into the backline anymore.
Yeah, once again, the timing of the rotations, the timing of Lilo, the timing of the Ornn, being able to catch out timing in the top side of the map, again, getting that little small advantage that they need. The Singed is trying to be useful, but yeah, that's about as useful as he does. He just runs into a team fight, he tries to clear the wave, and he just runs away and tries to survive, and then he just dies. That's pretty much as useful as the Singed support can do, to be fair. He just runs in, tries to flip one target. If he can't flip an important target, then he just runs away to safety. And as I mentioned, Singed just has a very difficult time in this game. There's no real target that he can really try and flip. Again, the mobility of Kastin and Ezreal means that they can escape really easily. You don't want to flip any of these frontline tanks, and now they're going to look to try and go towards the Baron. It's a very risky Baron if they start this off. They want to try and potentially turn and force a team fight.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to be careful, right? Because obviously, like you said, when you do go for the Baron Nashor, you do obviously inherit quite a few debuffs, and that's in terms of obviously your resistance to a lot of the damage from the enemy team, both physical and magical resistance. So I think it's a good call for Vapo to take away from that point, because if we saw a dive in from Obsess, and then obviously a lot of damage coming from Timon as well as Deadly, it could be the turn of the tides that they need for themselves on Mango Esports. But right now, they're still behind about 6k gold. They aren't having the greatest kind of laning game either. Like, they still are yet to get a T1 into the mid, top, or bot side of the map.
Oh boy, this game is going to be extremely close. Vapo at the moment looking to try and accelerate their gold lead, trying to look to invade as well. This late game scaling of the Kassadin and of the Ezreal is just going to be so scary to deal with. The Shyvana, again, for me, has just been pretty much just a walking minion at this point. Again, it's kind of similar to game number 1, that even though the Shyvana did get picked, it wasn't doing anything to impact the game. It was just farming and hoping that it could be useful in these late game fights, but nothing has really happened for a team fight to really happen. And you have just better late game scaling on the side of Vapo, but now the Baron buff is started. There's no vision here for Mango in this Baron pit, and it might just be taken down before Mango can even get into the pit.
Yeah, taken away from them before they even got access in there. Deadly looking pretty low, as well as Obsess on the back line. Oh, the True Shot Barrage once more for the side of Vapo, coming in so clean. Takes down Deadly. It's like they got like a pinpoint accuracy on this Varus for now.
Exactly what they're focused on. Focusing on to Deadly, focusing on that carry that can make a big difference in these fights. But Deadly not making any difference at all, unfortunately, as he's going to be going back to the death mark. And it means now that the Baron buff is in hands of Vapo, and they're going to look to try and close out this third and final game and book their ticket to the final. Tried to get a pick off on the Rumble in that top side, but wasn't able to get it. But meanwhile, it means that they can try and create pressure and try and push into this mid wave. 3 minion waves being pushed into into Mango's base. You have Queenie in the bot side. You have 3 members in the mid lane. You then have the Rumble in the top side as well. Chain corruption does come through, but the casting damage is so huge onto the back line. One more dash, the double kill already for the casting. The stasis keeps him alive as well. He has the mobility to be able to escape, but it looks like the minions are just going to be way too difficult for Mango to deal with. That's 2 inhibitors down. They could try and look to rotate to this top side of the map, take all 3 inhibitor towers down, and then they're going to have super minions rushing into the base that Mango needs to somehow deal with.
Yeah, I mean, expending all those resources to try and get the takedown of Rumble was pretty much the start of the big mistake here for Mango, as they left open those bot and mid lane turrets, and it's going to be Vapo claiming the victory and going into the finals. I believe it's with the Italian representatives also.
Yeah, it's going to be a very exciting finals indeed. I mean, Vapo, very strong in the end. A shaky game number 1, unfortunately, but I think they just completely adapted their draft and they just went for power picks in game number 2 and also in game number 3. They were able to get these power picks even in game number 3, which, as I was mentioning, if they get the same picks again in game number 3, the all